to join us today, and they're very excited to learn more. And we're so excited to have each of you with us today. My name is Tracy Vavrick, for those of you that I have not met, and I'm absolutely pleased to see so many fantastic Rotarians join us. Just a couple housekeeping items before we get started. Please do self on mute. We have many Rotarians joining us tonight, and we want to ensure that we to hear our presentation. So just a reminder, please, everyone, just go on mute. In addition, please put your questions into
coast to coast and border to border.
Just please also put your questions for us into the chat. We are going to have some time today for some Q&A. We're interested to hear your questions about the experience that we are creating in Calgary. And in addition, just also as well, we're mindful of the time. We've indicated to you in our correspondence, we're here for 45 minutes and our goal is to stay on time for you. So Marilyn, I'm so pleased to have an opportunity to share with tonight. And I'm going to pass things over to you, please, Marilyn.
How about if you put everybody but me on mute for the moment?
I love it. That sounds great.
It's a good idea.
So good evening, everybody. I'm Marilyn Bedell. I'm your coordinator for Zone 32. And I'm going to turn this right over to Mark Starratt, who is a passionate Rotarian and became one of the youngest district governors in 2008, 2009, or in my part of the world, we knew them as Niners. And he serves in District 5360, which is Alberta and Western Saskatchewan.
I couldn't go on and
where we are. And he is the co-chair of the host organizing committee, and his job is to hopefully tell you all you need to know to make you feel safe and secure about coming to Calgary. Mark, take it away.
Marilyn, thanks very much. What a turnout, amazing. The number of people from both of our zones that maybe have already registered, maybe are excited about looking into registering. But I can't wait to share with you some of the plans we have for next June. We're really excited and even more excited to share things that are in motion, things that are yet to be announced publicly, perhaps, and looking forward to welcoming you all to Calgary next June, 21st to the 25th. Just as a reminder to mute, just so that there's not a lot of background noise for everybody here. Everybody can see my slide, I think. We're 215 days away. Pretty amazing. When we won the bid almost 9 years ago, there were many conventions before it was our turn. We had COVID and so many things, but 215 days away is really exciting in terms of the countdown. A few of the things that we'll talk about Calgary a lot. We'll talk about accommodation. We'll talk about our host hospitality and signature events. There's an opportunity for volunteering. We'll talk about some pre and post convention tours and a few other items that are exciting updates that you may not know about. One of the things that we're talking about in Calgary is that you're already here. And what we mean by that is that in all of our local communities, when you come to Calgary, from the moment that you land at our airport, you will see that this community, this district is very active in Rotary. Whether it's Rotary Challenger Park or the 138-kilometer network of the Rotary Matamé Greenway, there's just a presence of Rotary in our city and in our district. And we're hoping that from the time that you land, not only will you see some of the service that is front and center in our city and in our district, but you'll also be welcomed. Oftentimes when we go to a convention, you go 3 blocks away in these major cities and you don't even know that Rotary's in town. And our goal is to make sure that from the moment you land and you hop into a bus or an Uber, you check into your hotel, everybody's going to know that Rotary's in town and that you're a delegate to the Rotary International Convention. When we talk about Calgary, we're talking about the Wild West meeting up with contemporary Canada. In 1996, Calgary last hosted the International Convention, and the city was very different. Our home hospitality was Rotarians opening up their houses to a wide variety of Rotarians. We celebrated our Western culture, which we'll do again this time around. But one of the things that we're very excited about is since 1996, just how much our city has grown and developed. The diversity that we have, the arts and culture that we have, just a phenomenal evolution of what our city and our district has become since the last time the world joined us in 1996. So many wonderful things that are going on in Calgary. In 2023, Condé Nast Magazine recognized us as the friendliest city in the world. You will know from our volunteer spirit the happiness and the joy and the friendliness that we as Calgarians bring to everyone we meet, and hope that we'll welcome everybody from around the world, including our two zones, to the convention. And as I said before, Canada is now the third most diverse major city in Canada. 240 ethnic origins, more than 200 languages spoken in the city of Calgary. And of course, as you welcome the world, many people from around the world will hear their own language just walking down the street. And so we're very proud of that. It's also one of the world's and Canada's top travel green list destinations, sustainable. Our C train, our light rail transit, runs 100% on wind generated electricity. Calgary is known for being safe and clean. Okay, we're very proud of the safety of our city. Most of the places that you go, it'll be clean on C-train platforms and things like that. And it's very interesting. One of the things that we've been looking at very recently is there's some of the walking paths going from the downtown core directly to what we're calling the campus area where all the things are going to be taking place. And there's a couple of areas that we've noticed are maybe not that you would like to walk if you were traveling in an urban center. And through our Rotary Civic partnerships, we have a lot of organizations that are coming together to beautify that area, to paint it, to engage it with entertainment. And so as a legacy of our convention, we're actually having parts of our own city that are being beautified and made even safer to welcome Calgary. And that's kind of a legacy for every convention and every other event that will happen after June. That will be a legacy of the world coming to Calgary. We boast the city in North America that has the most sunshine days out of 365. And so when you come to Calgary, you could get snow, but probably not. And the average daytime temperature is 20 degrees Celsius. And what we also know is that they're long days this time of year. And so for a couple of our signature events, it'll touch right into this, but it won't get dark until after 10 o'clock at night, local time. So very excited about what that means. Lots of daylight, but also an evening as we get into our signature event. Some of the evening hospitality will be able to be highlighted through that. For our friends in the zone south of the border, pretty good deal to come to Canada right now. Not only are we the only province that doesn't have a provincial sales tax, we just have our goods and services tax across the country, 5%. But the US dollar is very attractive right now. It's worth about $1.39, $1.40 as we sit here today in Canadian dollars. One of the things that has grown, especially over the last decade, is our food experience. Lots of chefs traveling from around the world to set up shop in Calgary. Just in our downtown core alone, we have over 200 restaurants. So there won't be a shortage of wonderful places to eat, very big diversity. And what we'll also find is that there's a lot of farm to fork experiences, things that were sourced locally, vegetables, meat products, very, very close to the city, that all of a sudden end on our plates and with our chefs in a very short period of time. Tourism Calgary has taken on a new calling Calgary your base camp to adventure. And what that means is that in the city of Calgary, there's so many little offshoots that you can go within the city, outside the city, in terms of the urban nature, our Western heritage, arts and culture, Indigenous experiences, cuisine, as I talked about before, golf, recreation, a whole bunch of world-class attractions that you can take advantage from, not only coming before the convention, but sticking around after for some of the events that are happening post-convention, which we'll talk about later on. We're publicizing this as being Calgary for the young and the young at heart. And part of that is because there are so many things to do regardless of age. And there are so many things to do if you have a young family and are coming to Calgary. So the experience is going to be diverse. There's really a place and a thing, an activity for everyone. No one should feel like they can't come to Calgary, come to our international convention, and really have a great time in the city, no matter what your family situation, what your age is like. Also, we're paying a particular attention to accessibility. Okay, our venues in terms of the BMO Center, the convention space, the House of Friendship, the breakout sessions, the dinners, the official dinners are all held in a state-of-the-art facility that's completely accessible, as are our roadways and pathways and things like that. Lots of things going on in terms of park life, different parts of the cities that are little commercial areas with funky art communities and food. No matter where you happen to be staying throughout our city, it is very close to get the places. And there's little unique character places throughout the city, no matter where you happen to be staying, that you'll be able to enjoy. First sales thing. We on our HOC website, and we're going to have this presentation that Marilyn and Tracy will forward out to everybody that's interested. All of these links will be live. And we are selling our famous Smith-Build white hats. $35 US. You can order them and pick them up at the House of Friendship when you arrive in Calgary. On our website has sizing charts, tells you what the sizes are, how to size your hat. And you're going to want to get one of these because we're going to be planning a very, very special event. The white hat is known for a welcoming to Calgary. And there have been many famous people that have been part of an official white hat ceremony. Everybody from Mickey Mouse to Bob Hope to Bill Clinton to George W. Bush, Queen Elizabeth II, William and Kate, Pope John Paul II, and many other political figures, entertainers, and just regular, ordinary people that are coming to visit our city. And that white hat ceremony will figure in very prominently throughout our Rotary convention. That's all that we're saying right now. Oh yeah, and there's a convention too. We talked a little bit about the city. As we all know, and this is even more recently through some of the surveys that have been done in past conventions, there's the great speakers, there's the great entertainment, there's the wonderful breakout sessions. But at the end of the day, people are coming to a convention, people are coming to Calgary to meet new friends and to rekindle relationships with existing friends. And with those survey results in mind, there's some special places throughout our campus where we're really setting aside for that quiet opportunity to talk with a glass of wine or to go for a little walk and to get away from the hustle and bustle of all the activity of a lot of people descending upon our campus in Calgary. We think that coming to a convention is going to be really, really special in terms of the people-to-people, Rotarian-to-Rotarian contact that you'll see. It's magic all around. And as we know from a convention, whether it's the magic of a Rotary service project or the journey of an individual transcending going from Rotaract to Rotarian or being part of youth exchange, whatever the case may be, we're going to be highlighting with President Stephanie and the entire team that there's so much magic that's happening in Calgary at the International Convention, and we want to have some fun as well. The experience looks like this. We have our opening ceremonies on June 22nd. There will be 2 opening ceremonies based on the number of people that we anticipate coming. And then there will be a general session on each of the 3 next days, culminating with the closing ceremony in the afternoon of June 25th. Throughout all of the evenings, including the night before, we're going to have 4 signature events in home hospitality. So on Sunday night, we're having our Grandstand Spectacular. Okay. This will be a close to 3-hour experience where there's going to be so many things going on. You can buy all of your tickets on our HOC website now. And before the December 15th deadline, we will have updated all the videos of all of our signature events to align even more closely with what the run of show is going to look like. And so we've put out a lot of wonderful examples of what the Grandstand Spectacular or the other events may actually be like. We're actually fine-tuning those videos to be pretty darn specific of what you're going to experience during those signature events. We will not sell out the Grandstand Spectacular. We're hoping to get more than 10,000 people that evening. Not a bad seat in the whole entire facility to be able to fully participate and see that whole Grandstand Spectacular. On the Monday night after the opening ceremonies, on the 22nd, on the Sunday night, there's going to be 2 choices. One is an Indigenous play with our local civic orchestra at one of our preeminent concert facilities, the Jubilee Auditorium, or Rockin' the Big Tent, where we're going to be in the Big 4 building. Basically, I'll call it a minute and a half of a walk away from the C train station, with a 2-minute walk from the BMO Center. Very, very close when you're on campus. On Monday night, we're going to be having host hospitality, home hospitality. This is going to be a combination of Rotarians opening up their homes, having 5 or 6 couples to do this, or to be welcome to a place where there's 50 or 100 or 200 people with entertainment and food and fellowship. This will sell out very quickly, so I would encourage you for the Monday night for the host hospitality, home hospitality, to sign up now. The only cost is $50 US. That only covers the transportation. So basically, one of 2 things is going to happen. When you're registering for this and you're signing up and saying where your hotel is going to be, if you're being welcomed to a Rotarian's home, they'll come pick you up at your hotel. But if you're one of the chosen lucky ones that are going into the mountains for an evening in the mountains in Canmore, you might get a luxury tour bus taking you out there and back. And so the cost is really for the travel. One thing to realize, and the reason that we're keeping the cost so low, is because if a Rotarian is opening up their home, or if the Rotary Club of Canmore is welcoming you out into the mountains, it's them that's paying for that experience. It's them that are putting on the food and the wine and the entertainment. And so it's really a very local, organic, where everybody throughout our city, throughout our district, is stepping up to invite you for a warm welcome. On the 24th, we have our Western Ranch Showcase, which is kind of a rodeo event, about a 2,500 capacity indoor arena, where there'll be trick riding and music and entertainment that will just be highlighting Western culture and Western art and Western entertainment, which will be a fantastic set of signature events. What is really interesting about this convention is that literally everything is within walking distance. You will come down on the light rail transit. There are 2 stops that connect the Stampede area, the Rotary campus. And on the top of it, you have the new BMO Center, brand new state-of-the-art facility, like I said earlier, that will have the House of Friendship, that will have the breakout sessions, that will have all the official dinners for presidents and things like that. Then you have the Scotiabank Saddle Dome, which is the 17,000 plus person arena where our opening closing ceremonies and our plenaries will be. And so very exciting. And then on the bottom, that's where the grandstand's going to be. So literally everything is within a short walk. You can have the idea that in the morning you can come down, spend the entire day and evening. You don't have to go back to your hotel if you don't want to. And then at the end of the evening, or if you need a break during the day, whatever the case may be, very easy to go back and forth. The city is divided by quadrants. And so what I would say in terms of the city is that it's a very spread out city, but still very quick through our light rail transit or through an Uber to get downtown in a short period of time. So in June, where there is no snow, it's not winter driving conditions like I went to work today. It'll be 20, 25 minutes to get downtown, no matter what quadrant of the city you're in. Things are separated into northwest, southwest, northeast, southeast in terms of quadrants of the city, the way that our mapping system works. And there's virtually going to be hotels throughout the entire city, out by the airport, in the downtown core. Not a bad hotel in our block. And what I would say is that if there is a hotel as part of the official block that's in the outskirts of the city, Rotary and Rotary Transportation will be helping to bring people either to the campus or to a close C train station to get you on your way. Getting to Calgary is pretty easy. We're one of a major city in Canada, lots of direct flights from within Canada into the United States. These are daily flights. As we know, we still don't prevent our fellow Canadians from coming into Alberta or leaving Alberta. So if you're Canadian, you just come and go as we please. If you're from our neighbors to the south, it's just your passport, your Nexus card, whatever the case may be. And it's a slightly more complicated if you're coming from other places around the world where you need to arrange for a visa and things like that. 20-minute drive from the airport to the downtown and to the campus, so very quick. But it's also, if you're driving up from the United States, driving up from California, beautiful drive through the mountains, beautiful highways at that time of year, absolutely no problem to come through 6 Alberta border crossings that you can come up very easily to get to Calgary. One of the great things that we were so pleased when we won the bid as part of the bid process is that every delegate gets a transit pass, meaning all you need to do is show up. Once you register, once you pick up your credentials, that's as good as having a bus ticket, a C train ticket, no matter how you want to travel around on transit. And we've even heard that if you're worried about, well, I'm on my way to the hotel, I haven't yet registered, picked up my credentialing, we've already talked to the city of Calgary and they're not going to enforce any kind of on day one or a day before. They're going to be very lenient and welcoming to Rotarians when it comes to accessing our transit services. Accommodation. Hotels are selling quickly. One of the things that on the HOC and the International Convention Committee we've been very aware of is that there's a lot of hotels that started in Singapore. There's fewer now, okay? And what that means is that we're always looking for more hotels to be added to the block. There were rooms that were added. A lot of the group bookings on November 13th had to have given a 2-day deposit. Whoever didn't do that as part of large bookings, not what you or I may have done as individuals in booking one hotel room, but if you booked more than 10, 20 rooms and you didn't have a deposit, those rooms are now available as part of the room block. And there are plenty of hotels that are not part of the room block, Airbnbs within Calgary. If you find that it's in an area that you don't want to be in terms of the official room block, please don't hesitate. We're all well-seasoned travelers. Go on Expedia, do whatever you need to do. Having said that, please keep in mind that only those hotels within the official block can RI support? So if there's ever a problem, we need to be conscious of the fact that Rotary can only help solve the problem if it's part of the Hotel Brock and our wonderful friends at Merritt's that can help solve problems. And many of the hotels in the hotel block include breakfast, Wi-Fi, and things like that. So be discerning, even though you may look for opportunities or cheaper prices outside of the hotel block. We talked about signature events. You're going to want to come to Calgary early. So if the opening ceremonies are at the 22nd, please, please, please make sure you're in town in time for the night before the opening ceremonies for the grandstand show. And then we're going to have certainly the home hospitality and the rest of the events throughout the rest of the week while you're here. Very exciting. We talked about home hospitality. One of the 3 or 4 things that we as Rotarians in Calgary and District 5360, or whenever we've traveled around the Rotary world and we say we're from Calgary, they say 1996, one of the best conventions ever. And a few of the things that made it the best convention ever in 1996 were the fact that we had figure skaters in our opening ceremonies on the ice with our flag ceremony. We had a version of the grandstand show back then. And one of the biggest, most remembered things is that Rotarians opened up their homes to have other Rotarians join them for a meal in home hospitality. And like I said earlier, we're trying to recreate that. The city is older. There's not as many Rotarians. We're not going to be able to accommodate everybody that wants to be in a home for dinner. But we're going to have that mix of many, 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 many people that are opening their homes, and then other events put on by clubs with entertainment and great food to complement that. Talked about the window. Because this is our home zones, Fareed, our head of volunteer, asked if we could put out a call. We're going to need more than 2,000 volunteers from start to finish. That is a number that is going to be more than virtually every convention that has ever happened. When we won the bid, we had a philosophy of making sure that whether not just the yellow sergeant at arms that you would experience in the official venues of the BMO Center in the Saddle Dome, but if you're on a C train platform, if you're at a hotel, if you're at the airport, we're going to have a host of volunteers that welcome you, that are able to answer questions, and really just have a feel like you're being given this wonderful Rotary hug, no matter where you are throughout our Rotary convention. And so if you want to take a 4-hour shift to be able to volunteer on campus, off campus, whatever the case may be, please don't hesitate to go onto our HOC website. There's a volunteering place that you can basically say, this is what I want to do, this is when I'm available, this is when I'm not available, and Fareed would be more than happy to assign a shift to have you sharing with other Rotarians from around the world. Another big thing that we were really proud of, we had a wonderful Rotarian in our district that helped us set up pre and post tours with a travel agency. These are curated tours both before the convention and after the convention, and all of these tours were available on day 1 of Singapore. Something that we were really, really proud of. They've started to have a lot of momentum, but there's still lots of spaces available. So many things within our city, but also places that aren't too far of a drive from the city. So there's a few things that we're suggesting. There's some pre-tours and post-tours that include the Rocky Mountaineer going into Vancouver through the mountains, beautiful luxury train. There's day trips, there's 2-3 night trips. There's a whole bunch of different things that are available, including some yet to be announced vocational and fellowship tours that are going to be launched in the next couple of months. The one thing that we're tying into our convention's closing ceremonies on Thursday. The following Friday is Parade Day, the opening of our Calgary Stampede, the greatest show, outdoor show on earth. And so what a lot of people are taking into consideration in terms of their travel plans is they're getting there the day before, a couple of days before the convention, enjoying the wonderful convention, then going away, going into the mountains, going into southern Alberta in terms of the UNESCO World Heritage Site, and then perhaps coming back to Calgary for the tail end of their trip during the Stampede from July 4th to 13th. Wonderful Indigenous experiences that are only a couple of few hours away, and some things that we're curating in terms of entertainment, culture, art, jewelry experiences, lots of different things that will be happening within the convention. There are some world-class facilities, our National Music Center, in our downtown core. Spruce Meadows, one of the preeminent show jumping facilities, is within a short drive within the city, and a bunch of other wonderful things to be attracted to, including one of Canada's largest zoos with penguins and panda bears. Lots of exploration as soon as you just get outside the city. Within 2 hours, there are 5 UNESCO World Heritage Sites, and many of those World Heritage Sites are incorporated into both of our pre and post tours. We talked about the Rocky Mountaineer and the train travel going into Banff and Lake Louise. Jasper, as many of you heard in the news, ravaged by wildfire. It will be a very different experience in terms of the commercial aspect of if you were to travel to Jasper after the convention. They're still going to be in a rebuilding phase, but one of the most beautiful places. The mountains and the train going through there and coming back will be awesome. The Badlands to the east, only 2 hours. The Hoodoos, they're called, very close to Drumheller and the Dinosaur Museum, where a lot of paleontology exhibits are found. And I only include this, I don't even have anything to say about this. I just love enjoying this picture. In addition to the pre and post tours that are on the website, we are going to be launching the possibility in the next couple of months of 2 other sister websites, all under that pre and post tours. One is going to be vocational tours. There's one being in the television and film industry, one in, actually 2 in the agriculture industry, and one also in innovation, highlighting our brand new state-of-the-art cancer center. Which is the largest, second largest in North America, but the newest in North America. That is a lot of our, that we're very proud of, and a lot of other things in Calgary that is known from an innovation point of view. We heard very clearly in past conventions that vocational tours are really important to some of our delegates, and stay tuned and keep looking at the website for that, as well as we're hoping to have Indigenous tours specifically. There are some aspects in our pre and post tours, but working with the Indigenous Travel Tourism Association, we're hoping to highlight some of their tours on our website in the coming months. So basically the best day to register is today. The next day, the next best day to register is before December 15th. We know that on December 16th, prices go up $100 US. And so here it is, cost of anyone over the age of 31, $525 US right now. But what we don't draw attention to is the fact that anyone 30 or under is significantly reduced. If you bring your family, young children, teenagers that want to experience, $20, very, very cheap. Okay, so there's an opportunity to bring the whole family. There's an opportunity to register sooner rather than later. We are very happy with the momentum of where our numbers are. We are hopeful that this will, the 2 largest Canadian conventions, Toronto and Calgary in 1996, were around 25,000. We're extraordinarily hopeful that we'll be pushing at or above those numbers, and we'll know soon enough, because oftentimes that little hockey stick curve to get to where we are today, up to where we will be after the December 15th price increase is really important to what that's going to be for our convention. And the reason that it's important for people to register now and soon and before December 15th is because Rotary operates for the most part on a break-even budget when it comes to Rotary International budgeting, meaning that the current budget is based on maybe some pre-COVID numbers, maybe some COVID numbers, very conservative. And every registrant, and as we get the numbers higher and higher, more money gets spent on experience, more money gets spent on entertainment, more money gets spent on speakers. And so very excited for everybody to sign up. And we want to show proud in our two zones, our twin zones, all across Canada, our districts, 5360, 5370, really a tremendous opportunity to show up in significant numbers to run up the totals for Calgary next June. Couple of key websites to remember. Where you go to register, where you go to do your accommodation is convention.rotary.org. Where you go for signature events, the White Hat, the host hospitality, and the pre and post tours are rotarycalgary2025.org. And there's a microsite to anything about the city of Calgary that also goes to the Tourism Calgary website, but there's a lot more general stuff at visitcalgary.com as well. So please join us. June 21st to 25th, magic all around. President Stephanie, Convention Chair Bryn, our entire HOC, our entire International Convention Committee can't wait to welcome not only our two zones, but the world to Calgary next June.
Mark, thank you so much. And I will share with you, we've had just some fantastic questions coming in. So awesome. I'm going to just pose them to you. You ready?
We'll try our best.
All right. So we've got a couple questions around bringing partners and spouses and for opportunities for them. So you can touch on what that would look like for bringing and partners.
Yeah, so the Rotary has told us that the priority certainly is to integrate and have those things available to join in the convention, the House of Friendship, the plenaries, the breakouts, things like that. We will be having an eye towards some day trips outside of when the plenaries are happening for spouses. But there's two things that I would mention. Number one, that the signature events are open to everyone. And so if a partner or spouse isn't as interested in the plenary, certainly they can be part of the grandstand show or the Western Showcase or New Blood at the Jubilee Auditorium. And the second thing is that we're not ready to announce yet, but we're in the next month or so, we're going to be trying real hard to put a little bit more family programming on the agenda. And so we're just investigating what that looks like in terms of education, in terms of entertainment, in terms of just making a wonderful opportunity for a whole family to come to Calgary. So lots of things going on, but soon more will be added to the HOC website, which is the place that you'll want to keep checking back to make sure. And through our wonderful promotion chairs in our zone, they will cascade out any and new all information whenever we make the announcement. So just stay tuned to Tracy and Marilyn as well.
Fantastic, Mark. And so we're so excited that, again, this event is truly a family event and it's becoming even more and more of a family event, and really appreciate the leadership in doing and bringing that together. A couple questions around RVs. Mindful that we do have some people that are staying off-site or in their RVs. Looking at, is there an opportunity for RVs to be on the Stampede grounds? And then if not, around the shuttling back and forth from RV or campsites?
Yeah, so the RV Fellowship was one of the first and early organized groups to reach out to the HOC, to reach out to RI. And so there has been, they set up something just outside of the city where they have organized themselves. I believe I heard yesterday that they're completely sold out. On the HOC website, in the frequently asked questions that's going to be promoted, we're going to be showing all of the availability for all the different ways in which an RV can participate. There is in Cochrane, which is west of the city, just immediately west, a campground that is owned by Rotary in the Kinsman. So we'll be highlighting that. But to not bury the lead, there is a very, 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 very strong possibility that we will have RVs available on campus. And the only thing that we've not yet finalized that is there's a new arena being built, and it's the week before Stampede. And so we're just, RI is just finalizing contracting of which lots we have available for certain things. But my understanding is there's about an 85–90% chance that power and water will be available on Stampede grounds for RVs, and that'll be announced in the next month or so.
That's fantastic news. And we look forward to sharing that out, Mark, when we have more that we can share. So great to hear. Just a couple small questions, not many, they're all very important questions, but just around hotels. And I know you covered a lot around the hotels. There is also just some questions around looking at are there going to be more hotels that are going to be made available? Because it looks like there's a lot of what's being noted is high priced rooms are left. And
Yeah.
so I believe you've answered that, but are you aware of any other new ones coming on?
So I know, and on the International Convention Committee, so I'm part of 9 people along with Bryn. That's helpful in deciding the programming and get to make a whole bunch of other information. And it's been a topic that we've been talking about in all of our monthly meetings. And so I know that Coco, who wonderful lady within RI who's responsible for this, is phoning hotels, corresponding with them. Can we get more rooms added to the block? Things like that. What we need to be aware of is that it's not because of the lack of work or the want. The hotel needs to want to add hotels to the block. And so some of the reasons why they may not is if they want to leave some for other people coming to Calgary, or they wanted to do something that perhaps was not part of the Wi-Fi for free and the breakfast for free, maybe to offer some other options. But here's where I would go and say, you can go on Expedia, you can go on to find out all of every hotel, every Airbnb that is available within the city. And there are a plethora of well-priced accommodations that are still good hotels, clean hotels, convenient hotels. Just reminding that you're going to have to find your own way to get down to campus. And so if you're looking for hotels that are not part of the official block, make sure that you're looking at that transit plan to know where a C train station is, where you can just hop on the C train to get down to the downtown campus.
Well, and I'll share, Mark, as a local Calgarian, I love the C train. It's easy to use, fantastic. We can get to every corner of the city. So I really appreciate the work that's gone into securing also passes for everyone. Also just wanted to note here, lots of fantastic interest in looking at volunteerism and hospitality events. And so just to confirm for the June 23rd, home hospitalities and also the event hospitality night, cost is $50, correct, Mark?
$50 US for the host hospitality, yes.
Fantastic, wonderful. And also just a notation around being accessible for all, mindful of wheelchairs or maybe some accessibility needs. Can you speak to that too as well, Mark?
Yeah, I mean, not only are we in a city where a lot of our newer buildings, that's part of our building code, the BMO Center, barrier-free entry, accessible washrooms in the facility, things like that. But one of the things that for Craig and myself, my co-chair, this has been an early and important area. We know, number one, that the aging population of Rotarians around the world, there's a lot of scooters, there's a lot of walkers, there's a lot of just getting from place A to B is a challenge. We love the fact that our campus is so secure that once you get down there, you don't need to have a lot of movement around. What we also know is that there's a lot of accessible taxis. Okay, and for those of you who may know my story, I have a young man in 10 days that's turning 16 years old. That is a wheelchair user, so has never walked and has been in a wheelchair. So believe me when I say that we are very, very conscious of making this a truly accessible convention for all concerned.
Mark, thank you so much. Also, around looking at our international delegates and mindful that we have members coming or would wish to come from around the world, including Africa and Uganda. And just wondering what the convention is doing to ensure that we can welcome and hopefully they can access coming into Canada from those countries.
Yeah. So what we're not allowed to do is we're not allowed to personally advocate for individual visa applications. But what we have done and what we will continue to do is we have a specific code. We've registered our convention so that everybody in the appropriate departments know that Rotary has a convention, so it'll pass the litmus test, so to speak, that this is an official convention and there's contact information that anybody in government, any those departments can reach out to find out more. But what we're also doing to help with the queues and the timeline is we're sharing information with our government of where people are registering from. And so when I talked earlier that we're very happy with our paid registration, our official number that we hope will continue to increase, we also have an unprecedented amount of Rotarians that have signed up and registered but have not yet paid. In the past, that number has been directly related to those that are waiting to get access for a visa. And so if you're from Ghana, if you're from the Philippines, if you're from all these other countries and the numbers are large, we're sharing with government where those people are coming from and letting them know that Rotary is an organization that as a Rotarian, these aren't people that are coming from Ghana to pick out a particular country. These are community leaders there that are active in their community. These are people not going to come to Canada and stay in Canada. They're going to come to Canada, enjoy our hospitality, learn lots, and then go back home to take all of these things into consideration. So we're doing as much as we can, but it's a bureaucracy. And so we can only do so much, but we're trying to do as much as we can to get as many people off that visa list to paid attendees to be part of our official numbers.
Mark, so appreciate your commitment and your energies in that area because we know the importance.
I mean, Tracy, you keep on saying like we have such a wonderful team. Like the
Yes.
number and back when we won the bid, it was a small number of people, and Craig and I and 8 or 10 other people that were involved in the bid. The number of people on our executive, the number of committees that we have, like it's just a huge endeavor. And everything from volunteering to home hospitality to signature events, it takes a village. It takes a whole bunch of people to put one foot in front of the other. And we're so grateful for everybody on our team that has joining up today, joining up a year ago, joining up 5 years ago to be part of this wonderful journey, including yourself, Tracy, with transportation. So thank you.
Oh, Mark, thank you. And I so appreciate that. And I'm mindful we're really close to time. We're actually
That's what I was going to say, that we're 3 minutes beyond when well, no, 4 minutes beyond when we said we would finish. If you need to depart, please do that. We will make sure the recording is available to you. Tracy's been keeping track of all the questions and we'll add that to the Zone newsletter that's coming out and beginning of December so that you can find the information again. And your district governor should have all of this information too. So, and if you can't find them, find Tracy or me. We're happy to try to help you.
Marilyn, thank you so much. I have one really important question.
Of course, keep going.
This one, do we know if Sylvia Wilcox is going to be attending?
I don't know.
Well, I think it's time for us to send her a little note and do a personal invite. What do you think? Yes,
I think that sounds like she has at least one fan who wants to meet her.
Yes, yes, beautiful. Just want to also, Marilyn, I was just as we were lots of questions coming in today. One of the things I can do is I can email everyone that joined us today the copy of this link plus all the links of where to volunteer, where to register, the host hospitality events, etc. So everyone can have those right at their fingertips and they can share out with others as well. So I'll take that on. It might take me a day to do it, but I will send out a follow-up note with everyone that had joined us today.
And Tracy's even broken an ankle in her efforts to be fully committed to this event. So she's having the fun of being in the orthopedics world for a while. So anyways, we're grateful for all of you coming. We hope that you're all registered. We hope you'll go out and tell your friends that they need to come with you. And we look forward to seeing everybody in Calgary. Yahoo!
And happy birthday to Mark's son, Yahoo. Yes.
Thanks very much, guys. Take
Thanks,
care. See you all in Calgary.
Good night, everybody.
Good night. Bye-bye.
Good night. I love
Good
coming
night,
to Calgary.
Bye.
Look
Good
forward
night,
to
everybody.
yes, look forward to seeing you in Calgary.
Hi, Tracy.
Bye, Ray. So good to see you. I see Elaine. Hi. Nice to see you both. Thank you for joining us.
We're looking forward to